Thank you for listening to the Midnight Drive-In Podcast. Be sure to go to iTunes and subscribe, or go to our website, themidnightdrivein.com. You are listening to the Midnight Drive... What? A name change? I didn't get the memo. We're changing the name? Well, we don't have a name yet. Oh, got it. Okay, well, until we get that name change, you are listening to the Midnight Drive-In. Now, Dougie Wall, you will die. It's time, Ricky-O. Prepare to die. No. Doug, before we even start the show, are you ready to talk about the Phantom Thread? We are dragging this on now. Sooner or later, you're going to have to confront me on this very well table.
Yes. It is a table.
I mean, we can arm wrestle for it, and the winner gets to say that the movie's good or not. But sooner or later, you're going to talk to me about it.
Okay.
And sooner or later, you need to watch it. Yes.
I can't wait.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah. Get it straight.
You can watch the movie we watched 6 times over tonight.
Oh, I watched it more than 6 times. He can watch it on, streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
24 hours of Ricky.
Right.
Huh. But you're reluctant to watch a masterpiece such as The Phantom Thread.
I watched the trailer. I've read about it. There's nothing about it that's compelled me to watch it.
The only reason I watched it
is because of Paul Thomas.
Is because of who directed it and who was in it.
You know, I like Paul Thomas Anderson's movies.
Yeah.
You know, but that movie does not.
It's not like any of his others.
Right.
All right. Well, sooner or later on this show, everybody, we will discuss The Phantom Thread, starring Daniel Day-Lewis and written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. We won't do it today.
Thank God.
All right, so how was everybody's week?
Fantastic, great week.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, watched a ton of stuff. Good week.
Watched a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, because it's been raining here for
forever.
Yeah, for 3 months.
I don't remember the sun.
That's
how it feels like Washington. We've been, but I'll tell you what. It's kind of nice because when you
stay inside and watch movies.
When you own a home and there's work out to be done and it's raining, you don't really have to do it, and you get an excuse from the wife, so you get to just sit in and do nothing.
There you go.
The only problem is I have 5 kids, so everything I watch has to be
kid friendly.
Yeah, kid friendly, or I have to sneak into the bedroom and watch it, and even then, my wife comes in and says, "Will you help me fold, or will you help me cook?" And so I've gotten to the point now where anything I watch, I'm watching at the office.
Right.
While I'm working. So am I really watching it or am I not?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Well, go ahead, man. You said you watched a whole bunch of stuff, huh?
Yeah. You mean start? Okay.
Yeah, why don't you start?
I finally got to see The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
What do you think about it?
I liked it. I did. The only one of the stories I didn't like was the one with Liam Neeson.
I haven't watched it.
All the other stories out there's one with Tom Waits. It's great.
Okay.
He's a guy mining for gold. There's one that's sort of a wagon trail story. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And it's kind of, I think a lot of people have been sort of deceived. They thought that Tim Blake Nelson's character was going to be throughout the entire movie. He's only in the first story.
Well, that's how the trailer makes it.
Right. And I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
I mean, I really did. Other than that, I went and saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I heard it was fantastic.
Okay. It's friggin' great, dude. I had some money left on a gift card, AMC gift card, so, I was like, what's a movie I wouldn't pay to see normally in the theater? So I went and saw that the other day when I was off work for the New Year. And it's not I won't say it's the best. A lot of people say, it's the best comic movie ever made. I don't agree with that. It's the most comic book-like American movie.
Right.
Because it's animated, like when Miles Morales gets his spider powers, how they show the spider senses. You stand in front of a window and the words "look out" pop out on the window. And he kind of ducks down and a car comes flying through it. And it just shows, it has different Spider-Men from different universes, different alternate dimensions. Miles Morales, he started in what's called in the comics the Ultimate Universe, which is sort of an alternate to the normal Marvel universe. And he's his universe's version of Peter Parker, who was voiced by Chris Pine, dies and he's killed by the Kingpin, who's the villain of the movie. And he then gets bitten by a radioactive spider. But his powers are different than. And the Kingpin's evil plan, he's trying to open up this dimensional portal. And when him and the Kingpin's minions, which is like, the Prowler, the Scorpion, he's got a whole army of Spider-Man villains that work for the Kingpin. Spider-Man gets thrown into this beam on the dimensional portal, and because his DNA gets in there, it brings all these Spider-Men from other dimensions. So one's a Japanese girl, one's a different version of Peter Parker, one is a superpowered version of Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man's old girlfriend. And it was just really well done. Like, even the Kingpin, like his evil plot isn't to take over the world. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with him he's trying to bring his family has died, and he's trying to bring a version of his family from another dimension so he can be with them. So even his evil plot is completely run by emotion.
Not nefarious.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really well done movie. Cool. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
They say it's going to win Animated Film of the Year.
I can't see how it wouldn't. I haven't seen that many animated movies this year, but I mean, just the visuals and the style of it is so well paced, and it's really funny. I really couldn't see how it couldn't, And I watched. It's being billed as a comedy, but it's really more of a drama. It's called Support the Girls. It's about this woman who she's like the manager of like a Hooters style restaurant, and it's just like a day in her life where everything just goes terrible. Like, a girl's been arrested. She's trying to raise money for her bail. One of the waitresses. Everything's going wrong. And she's just one of those people who tries to take care of everyone, even to her own detriment. And it's just so at the end of the day, you see that all comes crashing down. And Regina Hall, who plays the restaurant manager, if she doesn't get an Academy Award nomination, then it's meaningless.
Right.
Because she is really good. She's
always been good.
Yeah, she's always been good. But she's like so upbeat and nice. And even when things just turn to shit, she just tries to turn it around.
Yeah.
And then in the movie, you see how that trying to take care of people even if they don't want to be taken care of can backfire on you.
Sure.
And I really enjoyed it. And I rewatched Bad Times at the El Royale last night.
Interesting.
Went and saw that in the theater, but I just redboxed it last night. I enjoyed it.
You watched it again?
Yeah. Okay. And just for mainly just for the design of the movie is amazing. The way it looks.
I remember you really liking it.
I didn't like it.
You gave it a positive
I did give it a positive review.
And so based on that, I did the same. I went and rented it and watched it as well.
Right.
I had a little bit of a different view.
Imagine that.
On it than you did. But I'll let you finish before I...
it's just, it's... A lot of people compare it to Pulp Fiction. I think it's more like an R-rated Clue movie. More based on it's almost like the board game Clue.
It's play-like.
Yeah.
A lot of it, the way it was done, I found it to be kind of play-like.
Yeah.
And, it's got crazy characters and all this. It actually reminded me of one of the worst movies I've seen this year, Terminal.
Right.
Where it's kind of this, it's almost like an alternate reality,
Right.
Just taking place at like this hotel.
Yeah.
And it has like these weird characters and everything takes place there for the most part. And I didn't know until I started the movie that it was almost 2.5 hours long.
Right.
And when it started, I thought, this is all right. It's got, I like the opening scene. There's a crime that happens at this hotel, and then these strange characters start showing up. But about an hour and 20 minutes into it, I thought, you know what? Where are they going with this?
Yeah.
You've got an eclectic group here, but I don't really understand. I knew what one character's purpose was.
Right.
I didn't know what anybody else's really was. And I don't think that they really had much going on.
Right.
Which made it even stranger to me.
Yeah.
And by the time I got about an hour and 45 minutes into the movie, although it was well shot, it was beautifully acted, and there was some neat cinematography and stuff like that, I honestly just wanted it to end.
Right.
And what was funny is while I was sitting there watching it, I'm thinking, how is this thing going to end?
Yeah.
And I postulate in my mind how I think it's going to end, and then that's almost exactly how it ended.
Yeah.
It's just an odd movie that I'll be honest with you, I would never recommend this to anybody.
Right. Based
on how long it is and just the duration of kind of where it begins and then how it ends. The journey, to me, it's just it's not when I compare it to Terminal was with Margot Robbie was absolutely the worst movie from 2018 that I watched this past year. And I say that Bad Times at the El Royale is similar to it simply because it's a character study, of all these crazy characters in a place that is it's different from just like being in the middle of a city or something.
Right.
It's this crazy hotel. The hotel itself, and the vibe of the hotel, and maybe it's because it was raining. It reminded me of an older. Kind of psychological, kind of horror thriller movie called Identity with John Cusack and Ray Liotta as the hotel, kind of almost being a secondary character, not like the Overlook, in The Shining, but still a character, and it was a cool hotel, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just did not care for it.
Right.
I mean, they can't all be winners, right?
That's true.
But for 2.5 hours, now if they could have condensed it and ended it better and maybe had a reason for the 8 other people that were involved in this story to have been there and for all this to have kind of meant something, I would have enjoyed it. But I just, when I wanted it to end, the predictability of the last 30 minutes, it just dragged and dragged and dragged, and finally it ended. And it wasn't a bad ending; it was a predictable ending. And just for me, just not my cup of tea. If you like Terminal, I recommend Bad Times at the El Royale because it's a similar movie that is much more well done.
Yeah.
But just for whatever reason, the style of the movie just did not.
You know what was my favorite moment of the movie, though, is when the origin of the bell clerk, the desk clerk.
That was weird, man.
I love that.
I was fine.
I love it because when they ask him, like, this is a slight spoiler, when they ask, how many people have you killed? Yeah. And he says... 123.
Yeah,
and I was like, I was like, and then when that, I think that tied up everything in his story up very well.
Yeah, well, immediately when that happened, I was like, oh, he's killing everybody that comes to this hotel because it was kind of abandoned, and that's where I thought they were kind of going with it. Maybe he was just going to wipe everybody out. Yeah, I would say and
I thought he was probably the best. Like that's actually Bill Pullman's son.
Yeah,
that was like the first.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, man, he looks familiar. I can't put my finger on who it is.
He's probably my favorite character in the whole movie.
And
Jeff Bridges, I thought, was actually really good in it.
He was fine.
He didn't do his mush mouth voice he's been doing since True Grit.
He did a little bit.
It's not like he did in True Grit and tons of other movies.
Yeah, I don't know where that's come from.
I don't know, but
it's odd.
It's in some movies.
But he still kind of talks like he doesn't have any front teeth. You know what I mean? It was
maybe he's doing it unintentionally.
It's fine. Caucasian,
maybe he is.
Jackie.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but it just I don't know if I really have a favorite scene. In the not to really give anything away, but the 8mm. Mm-hmm. Who's on that?
Oh, it's Robert Kennedy.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
because
it's going to mess it up for me.
Okay,
not really.
No, I mean
you'll never make it to the end.
You don't think so?
You'd have to be pretty bored. Maybe not. I don't know. You might love it. What the fuck do I know? You love Phantom Thread. So. Who knows?
How long is that shit? 2 hours and 10 minutes. Oh,
fuck. I thought he lied about it.
Yeah.
He lied about it.
I was trying to get it into the queue. That's not going to work out for me. What else you see? That's it?
That was the only thing that I saw since we met last.
Yeah.
That was the only
What's wrong with you?
Fucking, I've worked all
right.
week.
You got a life.
Yeah. I worked and had shit.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess it's my turn.
I guess it is.
Oh my gosh. Well, Mark, what did you? Oh, well, we don't have Mark again. Unfortunately, when we're recording the show,
I liked it.
Yeah, there you go.
It had a Hollywood ending. Cool.
It was okay. It was okay.
Does Mark like or not like a Hollywood ending? Because I can't tell sometimes.
He loves it.
Would he have liked the movie we watched tonight?
Oh, he'd have fucking loved it. He'd have creamed his fucking jeans.
God. He would
have walked out.
He would have walked out. I'm betting money he would have walked out 15 minutes and been like, can we stop this or I'm leaving?
Where's the closest bar? I'm going to go grab an IPA and then I'll be back because I can't deal. I watched a bunch of movies and I'm not real sure why, but I'm going to start with, I took the kids, they were pushing me. When my daughter tells me to do something, I always do it. And she wanted to go see Jason Momoa. So we went to the Golden Ticket.
To go see Aquaman.
And checked out Aquaman.
Cool. How was it?
I'm going to be honest. I went in.
Thinking it was going to be shit.
Yep, thinking it was going to be the same.
I like James Wan, man, and that's why I'm willing to give it a day in court.
Actually, I had a great time.
Best DC movie of the recent ones?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Now, see, here's
I
the
thought
thing.
maybe it was going to sneak in and probably be because they're...
It's like somebody got a memo. Make movies people want to see. Yeah. That's where we went wrong.
Well, see, okay, all right. So I'm going to say, and of course, everybody's going to make fun of me, but I actually enjoyed Man of Steel. It was dark, yes, but I liked it.
I like Man of Steel way more than I like Batman vs Superman.
Oh, absolutely. But I like the Man of Steel. I
don't think Man of Steel holds up under rewatch.
Justice League and Batman versus anything with Ben Affleck in it. Unfortunately, and I like Ben Affleck, so I'm not ragging on him. But anything that has the Ben Affleck
Batman,
has,
right.
It's like that, And Batman's never going to be. Christopher Nolan ruined it. It's like The Dark Knight was your first line of cocaine, and you're always every Batman movie after that.
Yeah,
you're looking for that same.
Oh yeah.
I think it can be redone. Bill's or Christian Bale, it's not like, oh well, he did it, just fuck it, let's never do Batman again. It's not like he broke the mold. It was more everything around Bale and the way the movies are made and the villains and all make those movies. Right. Christian Bale doesn't make those Batman.
And also the third one.
No, you're right.
You could have put anybody in that role.
Batman's
well, I don't want to say anybody, but you could have put some other character actors into that role of. Batman, Bruce Wayne, and it would have worked out just as good.
Michael Keaton was great. Tim Burton's the two Batmans that he did. Well, I liked Batman Returns.
I think Batman Returns is a better movie than Batman.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the first Batman movie is just about the Joker. Yeah. Batman Returns is actually about Batman.
That's true.
Right. That's
very true.
So
anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually had a really good time. It's 2.5 hours.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I would have never asked, but I had to shoot a music video early the next morning, and the kids talked me into going, and it was like 10:30 at night, and I'm like, well, I'll be in bed by 1. I can handle that. It's going to be fine. And about an hour and a half in, I looked over, and one of my kids was falling asleep, because it's late now. It's like 12 o'clock or whatever. It's 12 o'clock after the credits. And River had already seen it, and I said, well, I looked over and I said, it's almost done. Try to stick it out. The big ending's coming. River looked at me and said, oh no, there's another hour of this. And that was the only time when I was like, oh no. And the only reason I did that was it's like, oh my God, I'm going to get home at 2:30 in the morning and have to get up at 7:30.
Yeah.
All for freaking Aquaman. But I tell you what, it was worth it. And
cool.
Everything about it was really good.
Yeah.
Like it was excellent.
He said they offered him the Flash and Aquaman, and he said he would rather try to do something nobody was expecting than do whatever. He's like, they know what movie I'm going to make with the Flash. He said, Aquaman, they have no idea what movie I'm going to make. Apparently, DC made him cut. There was a bunch of weird stuff that just got sliced out of the movie.
That's what I'd read. That one had some really funky scenes in there that got squashed, but I don't know.
That's why they make unrated DVDs.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we'll get to see at least some of it at some point.
And then I continued my vampire fetish. Watched the
goddamn vampire.
I have a question when you're done.
Okay, Queen of the Damned was.
That's a terrible fucking movie.
What's funny? I cut it off. I actually did not make it through.
Thank you.
Have you seen the show Penny Dreadful?
No, but I'd like to.
Dude, it
might be. It's
here's what
something that you might actually like.
And
is it terrible?
No, it's really good.
It's okay.
It's very pulpy. It's very sort of simple and pulpy. And Timothy Dalton he's way more badass in this than he ever was as James Bond.
Correct.
Because he's a guy. He was like an English guy, went to Africa and like explored. He was a hunter and stuff. And that he's like had he been that
badass
as James Bond. Yeah. Oh, dude, he'd have been the greatest ever. Because he's the to me he's the best part of the show.
I almost bought that in Best
And Eva
Buy.
Green is what's up.
When I went,
don't buy. I think it's the whole It's only 3 seasons. I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Well, I know, but when I was getting that...
It's way better than other vampire shows.
But let me tell you this. If you were thinking of it, do not watch it with any of your children.
No.
There's some things happening.
Yeah, it's a very adult show.
That you're not going to...
Yeah.
I about bought it when I got the Ash. Remember the gift card, the Ash and the Evil Dead? That was Penny Dreadful.
Give yourself 3 episodes, and at that point, you'll know whether or not it's something you're going to want to watch or not. It's 3 seasons. It's not super long. It's okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's, compared to most TV shows that are supposed to be horror TV shows, there's actual horror.
You liked what's that piece of
Blood.
shit? True Blood.
That's where I was trying
to... You'll definitely appreciate this, I think. I mean, I like True Blood for the campiness of it and kind of the silly, but then it just got ridiculous. This sticks kind of...
Well, yeah. I'm listening.
And if you can stomach Josh Hartnett, then you're fine.
He's not
in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the best part of the show.
He's not the best part of fucking anything.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
He was the best part of Pearl Harbor. That may have been... No, Kate Beckinsale was the...
See, here's why I never watched that movie. And we're going off...
Don't ever watch it.
I never will. But somebody said, Ben Affleck's plane crashes, and then he shows up 3 months later, and his girlfriend's pregnant with his best friend's kid. I'm like, 3 months? That's less than the football season. Yeah. What a fucking slag. I just never watched the movie. That just for some reason bothered me immensely.
I mean, the scenes, the actual... battle, I guess, is fine, but everything else is a fucking disaster.
But if I die, my woman always better wait more than 90 days before she gets knocked up.
Well, that was like Castaway. Yeah. I mean, he was gone for 3 years, but she was...
No, he was gone for like 7 years.
No, 3. It was 3.
Was it 3?
Yes, 3. And in that, she had 2 kids and had been remarried.
No, it's more than
Get the
3
fucking
years.
Google machine
It's
out,
way more
I
than
think
3
you're wrong on that.
No, dude, you're wrong. All right, what are we betting? All right, you guys look that up. I'll tell you about my Underworld. I watched Underworld with Kate Beckinsale. I paid me $1. $2. And that was...
Oh, that's a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah, it's another terrible... Like, I don't get it with the vampire movies. So what's funny is I just finished the Interview with the Vampire book.
Yeah, right.
And the book... It is much different than the movie. But I'm like... But here's the problem. The problem is they could have done... everything. They could have tacked on an extra 20 minutes to that movie and done everything that the book had.
Or taken out some of the stuff that...
Yeah. Or just not made it.
Either or. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Your little vampire fetish that you've got going on.
No, there's some vampire movies I like. I just think me and Garrick like 2 different types of vampire movies.
Yeah.
And then I watched Intellectuals, Peacemongers, Idiots! What movie is that?
It's 4 years.
Okay, so I still got it. So I was closer than 7.
That's true.
4 years.
But it wasn't 3.
Yeah.
So pony up your fucking $.
I don't have $1, so now I owe you $1. All right, bud. So there you go, 4 hours. Even then, so she had 2 children, and one of them was at least 2. And she was remarried.
Yeah.
4 years from the day he disappeared.
Yeah.
But she kept looking for him, dude.
In
More that
a
way? Come on.
plane wreck over the ocean, after a few weeks, you know that your loved one is dead.
My wife would move on 2 weeks after
she might have waited.
She'd move on once the plane left the tarmac.
If she waited a year and then, realized, look, I'm completely depressed. I've got to get over this. He's not coming back. Then how can you blame somebody for going out and finding happiness?
So then Kate Beckinsale in Pearl Harbor was a slag.
Yeah.
And
Helen
Hunt had a reason to do it.
Exactly.
Fine,
that's my point.
Well, I watched Mars Attacks again, and I absolutely...
It's fucking perfect.
It's the best movie ever.
It's one of my favorite...
themes of that movie are
one of my favorite burdens, for sure.
When Jack Black runs up to the Martian with the gun and the clip falls out, I piss myself laughing. I can't... Oh, dude, it's the funniest thing ever.
And just some of the comments, like, what's his name's going... When they're going to meet the Martians, and he's calling his wife, and he's like, see, if I don't say anything and I just keep my mouth shut, good things always seem to happen. Like, just the little things.
Oh, yeah.
Sure that...
Yeah.
That's so funny, man. It's I can watch that movie over and over and over again, and it never ever gets old.
It's so funny.
And then the last movie that I saw that I watched 3 times because I forgot just how good it was.
Okay.
Heathers.
Yeah,
that's a good movie.
It never gets made today.
No. Well, they did a TV show You know how we talked about how the Spike now became the Paramount Network. We talked about that last week. That was going to be their big show to lead off with. And apparently they showed people the pilot, and they were just like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, all it talks about people shooting up a school.
Yeah.
What's funny is even the film back then in the 80s, the actual ending had Christian Slater blowing the school up.
Yeah.
And they having their prom, and everybody's in white in heaven.
Yeah.
And they had to recut that. But it's funny, man. I'm watching that movie, and I watched it 3 times. Well, one time was kind of scattered, but I was like, there's no way that any of this.
No,
It would never pass today.
No.
Nothing. Nothing about it.
Yeah, that was a movie for teenagers then.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
In
when
the
I
80s.
saw it, I was probably 14.
Yeah.
I think it came out in 88. Is that right?
Oh, God.
It's
Winona
13.
Ryder.
Yeah.
Still fine.
I wanted to Winona and then Ryder, for sure.
For sure. Bathwater material there.
Okay.
Not tonight,
Yeah.
because she won last week, but anyway.
She did.
She did.
Interesting.
And
Is she
I
up against
don't,
again?
she was up against Anna Joy Taylor. Now here's the thing: is I don't think
Anya.
I don't think that
Get it right, fuckface.
I'm sorry. I don't think that people knew
take this from the top.
that movie as much as they knew. You know, you see Winona and then you see Anya. She's younger, newer. People don't.
Yeah.
Hey,
they'd rather have the
if I did
50-year-old.
if I did the bathwater challenge today with Aquaman with Amber Heard, who was his lead, and then his mother, who is Nicole Kidman.
Right.
I mean, who wins that?
Kidman.
You think so?
It's not even a contest.
Well, so maybe we should. I had a really good one this week, but maybe we should do that one and see how that goes.
Nicole Kidman against any fucking body you want in the history of Hollywood. She'll give them a run if she doesn't win. That's how hot I think she is.
I bet you $1 Amber Heard wins. Just out of
Who
popularity.
the fuck is Amber Heard?
Amber Heard is the lead.
She plays Mara.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Against who again?
Against Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
Who plays Jason's mother in Aquaman. Nope.
Yeah.
All right.
Who now looks like a wax
We'll get to
statue
that later.
in a wax museum with broken air conditioner.
So anyway, anybody that hasn't seen Heathers, if you're young or just have not seen Heathers, you really should check it out. It is definitely a movie that's completely politically incorrect and would never get made today because of
the subject matter.
But it is an excellent movie. Christian Slater and Winona Ryder and Shannon Doherty before Charmed. Pre-90210. Fantastic film.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Which
Who directed that?
Daniel Waters?
No.
That's who wrote it.
Yeah, Michael Herman. Harriman.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought maybe you had it in your notes.
I did. You know, it's
fine.
funny.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who gives
All
a
right.
shit?
Well,
You can still find the movie Heathers. It's easy enough to find.
Yeah. I know. It's right here. Well, so before we get into the movie, though,
Was that your list?
that was my list. Michael Lehman, not Herman. It's
Lehman.
Michael Lehman.
Yeah.
So, so we had talked. This is the first podcast of the new year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which means that a new year begins and a new whole year of movies begins.
Cool.
So, what were your favorite movies of 2018, Douglas?
Okay. Strangely enough, and I didn't want it to be. I actually really did not want it to be this way. But I've got 3 here, and I've got 4, honestly. I'm going to say that 3 and 4 are kind of tied because I really enjoyed them both. And I think that both of them were pretty kick-ass movies.
Right.
My favorite movie that I watched with you guys. It was the first time I ever was here, and that was Mandy. I just think it's just a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and
It is on my list as well.
while I was, thinking about and looking over all these movies from 2018, it just always stood out to me. It's just killer. We've gone over it. There's a whole cast about it. My second favorite movie, I think, from 2018 was The Isle of Dogs, the Wes Anderson that Lee had just watched and spoke about last week. I love Wes, man. It's just hard to. It's hard for me to hate anything that he does, man, because he just does it all in a way that I like.
All right. You know the thing with the summer camp? You like that one too?
Yeah.
Wow.
The reason I like that, and it is one of his stranger ones.
Right.
I really liked the kid with the glasses, the main character, and the girl, and the fact that they have this weird relationship at like 11 years old.
Right.
You know, where they're in love. They would go and get married if they could. You know, and live together. And whatever. And being, you know, when I was that age, and you know, you're with your girlfriend, or you know, you're going out with this girl. That's how I always felt.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of myself in this kid, and I just enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was. If there's such a thing as too cutesy, it was too cutesy for me.
Yeah. Okay.
It didn't like the one about the hotel, the one he made after.
Budapest.
That one was mean spirited enough.
Yeah, it was.
And Lou, when Ray Fiennes is hanging off the mountain, and he's quoting that poem because he thinks Willem Dafoe's going to get him, and then that kid comes up, just shoulder checks Willem Dafoe off the side of the mountain. The way Ray Fiennes goes from quoting the poem, you got the fucker, just within a second. Oh, dude, I could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
It was really good. Rafe was great in that film.
Oh, and when he's dictating the letter when he's in prison, he goes, and if you think of me as an eagle with a bullwhip clasped in his talons, that's because I fucking am.
I've got to revisit that one. It's time for me to revisit.
I own that one.
Because I think like the movies of his are the most successful. I think the ones that they're like cutesy and just artsy, but there's something just mean about the You know, almost like in a way, almost like Raw Doll books, but for adults.
You didn't. You didn't find anything meanish or brooding in the Olive Dogs.
No, I mean,
just
I really
outside
like
of all the people.
Not really. See, because that's different. There's stop motion movies I consider different than live action ones.
Right.
Like I liked Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, me too. And it's nice and like upbeat a movie.
But like the live action movies, I prefer his more. Like a lot of people don't like the Darjeeling Limited.
It's awesome.
But I watched that movie right after my dad passed away, and the scene when they're taking his car out of the garage and they all start yelling at each other over just nothing. That's exactly how you are when somebody dies.
Yeah.
You're just emotional and you're screaming over things that don't matter, like potato salad, your shoes.
Yeah.
You know, because, and you know, you never hold it against the person because they're just getting it out.
Yeah.
And the stuff about that is probably why I connected that movie more than, because some others, they hate that movie.
Well, a lot of people don't like Wes Anderson anything, and you know, for me, it's a couple of movies in my top 20 are Wes's for sure. I love Rushmore and Zizou is Zizou to me is his opus. That's his best movie.
More than the Royal Tenenbaums?
Yeah. I love that. I love that movie where people didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, because it came after Rushmore and it wasn't as, I guess, cute as you said. Yeah. But it's fucking
I have a very limited amount of cutesy.
Yeah. I get that. Well, me too. I don't like a lot of cutesy, but for whatever reason, Wes kind of he tickles my cutesy button.
I understand. But what were some of your other favorites?
Yeah, well, come on. Keep going.
Black Klansman.
Yeah, that was really good.
You know, that was another movie that we watched here.
Yep.
Spike doing his thing.
Yeah.
And John Washington, Denzel's boy, just was killer in it, man. And Adam Driver was awesome in it as well. It's just, you know, like Mark had said, it's a movie that, you know, is for this time, even though it takes place, you know, 30-some years ago.
Yeah.
It's still relevant with kind of what's going on today. And, you know, with that scene at the end, the news footage and all kind of reiterates that. And, you know, just cool-ass movie.
Right.
You know, it's one that I could definitely watch again and would have no qualms about it. I wasn't sure about another movie that we had watched, Revenge. I wasn't sure if that was a 2018 or a 2017.
I count it as a 2018 movie because it came out on DVD in 2018.
I wasn't sure about it.
If a movie was released in 10 theaters and 2 months later comes out, I count it as the home video.
French Revenge movie that...
I cannot wait to see what that girl directs next.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It was a killer movie.
Yeah.
So those four were my favorites. And then my worst movie I've already talked about too fucking much was Terminal. Fuck Terminal.
Yeah.
But if you like Bad Times at the El Royale, check out Terminal. You might like it. I don't know. Just saying. So that's my list.
Right.
What you got, Lee?
Me? Okay, I'm going to rattle off. I'm going in reverse order. I'm starting at my number. I'm not going to talk about my number one now because that will come at the end of the show for my pick a flick. Ooh. Okay, my number 2, Low Life. I watched that movie and I was like, I wish I fucking made that shit.
Yeah.
Like, why did
It's
I
on
get
my
like
list.
20 friends together? And number 3, small town crime.
Oh yeah.
The character John
That's
Hawkes.
always pick a flick video.
The character of John Hawkes. No. Well, there's.
But that makes sense.
Okay.
It makes sense.
The character John Hawkes plays in that. Mike Rawson, he's my favorite movie character of the year. I just love that movie. Number 3, Death of Stalin. Number 4, number 4, number 5, Mission Impossible Fallout, Mandy. Okay, now here's the one that's after those.
Okay.
That I'm going to talk about the most. And it kind of ties into Wes Anderson, and you're going to think I'm crazy. Fucking Paddington 2, which if you've not seen it, is
So, well, it's been great tonight,
No, seriously,
guys. We're
listen.
going to be done with this podcast.
Hey, I loved it.
I think
yeah.
Lee
Did
is
you love
hurt.
it?
Yeah.
Dude, the economy of the filmmaking is because it sums up the first movie in 3 minutes.
Pretty much.
The first 3 minutes, you know exactly you're up to date.
Yeah, and
It
it's
just-
the first one was excellent.
I like the second one better.
But they're
well,
both.
see, I haven't
man.
seen the
They're-
second one.
The economy of the filmmaking, just the jokes in it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the movie. I mean, dude, and you know, I watched it. I said because I read something about how it was, and I said, "Oh fuck it," it was like $1. I rented it, and I watched it. And I was like, I can't fucking believe this movie's this good.
Yeah.
It really. I mean, like, it's like a Wes Anderson movie, but the characters aren't. They don't act like they're in a Wes Anderson movie.
Right.
They act more real.
Yeah.
Like, even though the movie's completely stylized, and it's just, I mean, it's like a Marx Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
and you
it.
never see that now.
No.
The first one was
And
fantastic.
and American comedy is so unvisual now because of the use of improv and stuff like that. I love that you just see like a completely visual comedy now, basically. And that's the end of my list. I'll talk about my number 1 at the end of the show.
But Paddington 2 is
Dude,
on your list.
I loved it, dude. I really did.
That's awesome.
And
I will watch that. Hey, I can watch that.
I know,
one.
and after I watched it, I looked up the guy who directed. He directed every episode of the Mighty Boosh Show, which makes complete sense. So that's a completely visual comedy show. And yeah, I mean, and I'm honest, that's the best thing Hugh Grant's ever done.
Maybe.
He's
I'm not a, you know.
I'm not either.
I don't even know what I would
Besides
even
go
say.
out that one night when he was with Elizabeth Hurley and
Right.
pick up that hooker.
Have you seen those pictures of Elizabeth Hurley that she just released?
Is she still so
Jiminy
beautiful?
Christmas monkey balls.
Dude, she
dude.
looks better now.
She is absolutely.
Oh, she's probably had some work. That's not.
I think she's just in shape.
She's like
Really?
50 couple and
Yeah.
just.
I'll have to check her out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the end of my list.
Okay.
All right.
Good list.
Yeah. Well, my list. Great minds think alike,
Okay.
and we've been friends for a while, so we got the same.
Like too much of the same shit, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yes. But I've got I've got a separate list.
A couple of caveats in there,
Yes.
boy.
And this, you guys are gonna laugh and whatever, but my
Dude, I just said Paddington too. I'm not
my
gonna laugh.
favorite film was A Quiet Place. I know it's not.
Yeah.
It is not Black Klansman. It's not Gangs of New York. It's not The Departed. But for the hour and a half that I've sat there and watched that movie,
Right.
I didn't look at anything else.
There you
and
go.
I am ADD as I can be, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And not many movies can captivate me. I don't think I took a pee. I sat there and watched that movie quiet as all could be with my 2 kids, and we jumped. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? That was the most entertaining movie that I had
There
seen.
you go.
all
That's
year.
what it's all about.
That's all that matters.
That's all that
As long as
matters.
You liked it.
Done. Second, Mandy. 100%. Black Klansman on the list. Mission Impossible
Yep.
on the list. I missed my second favorite. My second favorite, Revenge, and it was a 2018 movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Christmas Chronicles, Kurt Russell. I loved it. Loved it.
I know. Okay.
Low Life on
Yeah.
my list.
Yeah.
You still have not seen
I
that.
still.
You must see that movie.
I'll fucking watch it, man.
Yeah.
And one documentary that was like, it was perfect. Won't You Be My Neighbor? You must see.
Yeah. I've been wanting to see it.
It is fantastic.
Have you heard about the movie where Tom Hanks is playing Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Now, I have an alternate favorite movie list. It's movies that I saw this year that may not have been made this year.
Okay.
So, my number 1 movie,
Oh, all right. I see what you've done.
The Phantom Thread. I did not see it in 2017. It was my favorite film of the year that was not made this year.
No, it wasn't.
Yes. And
no, the fuck it wasn't. I've got to somehow tie Lee down and have him watch this movie so he can fucking tell you. Because you're not going to listen to just me when I rip this fucking
Like,
film.
I haven't even seen the Suspiria remake because it's 2.5 hours.
It's 2.5 hours.
I'm just like, go fuck yourself.
I hear it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then, let's see.
Phantom Thread.
Fucking Phantom.
Well, I've lost the other one. Oh! Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that was your first time watching.
First time watching in
Gotcha.
2018,
Yeah.
although they weren't made in 2018.
Right.
And the trophy for all entertainment for 2018 is I didn't see any Game of Thrones until I bought I bought with my Christmas money. I had a Best Buy $20 gift card in January. And I went and said, all right, I started to get real into D&D and back into the whole, like, fantasy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to check out this Game of Thrones everybody was talking about. Went to Best Buy, bought the first season. I watched four shows and went back to Best Buy with my credit card and bought the rest of the seasons right over there. And I watched that, and it's by far, man, the best TV show I think that's ever been made.
Wow.
First season True Detective.
True Detective, okay.
Is to me, depending upon how this ends, it's still the best thing I think maybe I've ever seen.
Yep. So there you go. There's my entertainment for this year. And if you want to read a book, read Interview. I know it's old news, but Interview with a Vampire was fantastic. And I have a hard time finishing books.
Was it?
Yeah, it was actually. It's really good. It's funny, and I get it because Louis and Armand, Brad Pitt's character.
Oh.
Brad Pitt's character and Antonio Banderas' character in the book are lovers.
Right.
So they cut all that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's crazy because Lestat shows up.
Well, they kind of make it out like they were trying to.
Yeah, but they don't. It's different now. See,
do.
these days, if they made that movie now, it'd be no problem. They would just have them kissing and doing all that stuff.
Right. You think it's because of when it was made that they left it
Oh,
out?
absolutely.
Maybe. Okay.
Absolutely. But they did. There's other stuff that they left out where I'm sitting there going, dude.
Well, you got to leave out something. Easy. I mean, I guess that movie was 2.5 hours long as it was.
Was it?
Probably. It's not a short movie, man. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of shit that happens.
I watched it 3 times in the movie theater.
Yeah.
The third time I went one night after we went out partying, and I fell asleep.
Well,
you're welcome.
Welcome to Lee's Pick-a-Flick Video Store, where all his recommendations will cost you money or you won't be able to find the video, period. What is the film this week, Lee?
You want to do your pick-a-flick since we're on the subject, or do you want to wait?
Fuck yes, I do.
All right. So
my favorite movie of 2018 is the Indonesian martial arts movie, The Night Comes for Us. It's on Netflix. You don't have to pay to see it unless you don't have Netflix. Then you do have to pay to see it. Dude.
I saw that one.
Dude, it has more murder per square inch than any movie ever.
I started that movie.
Oh, dude. I loved everything about it. If I could melt it down and inject it into my veins like heroin, I would.
I almost watched it the other night.
Yeah.
I started.
Do not let your children
anywhere near it.
Put them like a mile away.
Is that where that's the one movie where the black guy kills the white girl at the beginning? Or is that the wrong? I'm thinking of the wrong one.
No, this is a movie. It's everybody in it's from Indonesia. It's a guy. I won't even say he's a hitman. He works for this group of killers who work for this Chinese crime family. Yeah. And if like somebody in a village steals from them, these group of guys, they go in, they kill everybody in the village.
Right.
They're basically like a group of mobile Kaiser
cleaners.
And he kills and they kill everybody in this village except this little girl and the head of the guy in the squad. They hand him the AK and he turns and he points it at the little girl. And they're like eyes meet. He just spins around and kills everybody he's with. And in that moment, he makes a decision. I have to save this little girl.
Yep.
And it takes place in Indonesia. He works for a Chinese crime family, but he's sort of like the head of like the satellite office in Jakarta in Indonesia.
Okay. Yep. I did not watch it.
So basically, he has like a day to get her a passport, get her on a boat,
get her out of there.
Get out of there. And the Triad family he works for sends
everything,
including the second in command, which is his best friend. Because years beforehand, they were like a street gang. And one of their members of the street is a half British, half Indonesian guy named White Boy Bobby, who was by far my favorite character in the movie. He got addicted to heroin, ended up owing these Chinese guys all this money, and 5 years before this, they well, we can either kill your friend Bobby or you can come work for us and work off his debt. So basically, that's where they've been this entire time.
Gotcha.
And so when he comes to them to ask him to hide the little girl, Bobby is he resents them, even though it was his fault.
Yeah,
because he has anger and shame about it, and it's just. You should get a poncho when you wear it. It's so bloody. It's like you're at a Gallagher concert. They kill everybody. And nobody that gets stabbed and then dies. They get stabbed and then they fight for 15 more minutes and they're just the final fight between the two friends who are opposed to each other now is just it's amazing.
That good.
It really and the best character in it is this girl named Julia Stell. She's she's actually from America, but she's half French, half Indonesian. So she went back to Indonesia, and she was. You can tell she was a model because she's just gorgeous. But she plays a character called the Operator, who is from a different crime family. And so he sort of goes. They meet, and he gets her to help. And she has the coolest fight in the movie.
Cool.
She and I guarantee within 2 years she will be in American movies because I read when I was looking up stuff on the movies 2 weeks out. The movie came out in October. Middle of November, she had an American agent.
Nice.
And she kind of reminds me of Michelle Yeoh when she was young.
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh was a ballerina, no martial art, just could do it.
Yeah.
And she's probably the coolest character in the movie. And but yeah, because I watched it Tuesday night at a buddy of mine's house because he's like, just pick a movie. He's like, this is the movie I want to see. He's like, oh, awesome. Yesterday at work, that's all.
Had you read something about it or seen something about it? Or?
If you've seen the Raid movies, it has pretty much the entire cast of the Raid movies in it.
Okay.
And it was not directed by the same guy, but
the Welshman.
No, it wasn't directed by him.
Right.
But it was directed by someone he's sort of affiliated with.
Oh, okay.
And someone who, the guy director has produced this other guy's movies.
Okay.
And I saw one of the other guys earlier. It's called Headshot. It's sort of like an Indonesian Born Identity. Hitman gets a brain injury, gets amnesia. It's okay. This is
beyond.
I mean, I loved it.
Cool.
Yesterday at work, all I could do was think about it. And I was like, fucking White Boy Bobby was the man.
Oh, I'm watching it.
If you want to see a guy beat a guy to death with a wet floor sign, this is the movie for you. Because he kills 2 people with a wet floor sign.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds like I got to go watch it tonight.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm kind of feeling that too. I'm like, damn,
let's just end this now.
You kind of got me all pumped up. I wanted to see
great.
some people get fucking killed.
Yeah.
That's what you should. That's what you should have done today when we changed. We changed our programming because we wanted Mark to see the movie that we had originally planned on filming. But so Mark
we could have watched that.
We could have just done
instead of.
Yeah.
What did we watch tonight?
Ricky O.
The Story of Ricky.
The Story of Ricky.
Ricky O.
Oh, yes.
Ricky O. All right, you start us off.
Okay.
This was your pick.
This was my pick. And it's a movie from the early 90s in Hong Kong. It's actually based on a Japanese comic book.
That's correct.
And it is a superhero, martial arts, prison, revenge movie. And
that is a handful.
And it is completely ridiculous. A guy named Ricky, he killed a drug dealer for some reason and gets convicted of manslaughter and sent to 10 years in prison. And he's basically sent to this prison that's sort of a prison. Nobody keeps their jail cell locked. The guards kind of do whatever, So
do the prisoners.
Exactly. So there's a gang called the Gang of Four, and each gang member runs a wing of the prison. And they all work for the Warden, who's doing things like growing opium growing poppies to turn into opium, all sorts of things. And it's just, it is a movie completely. It is a completely unartful movie. By that I mean its only purpose is to make you laugh and entertain you. And I think that's something different. Obviously there are there are artistic Hong Kong movies, or Ang Lee, things like that. But
this was not.
This was not that. And the thing about a lot of Hong Kong movies is, for a long time, it cost a lot of money to go to the movies in Hong Kong. So they want a lot of movie. You know what I'm saying? When they want a love story, they want a giant love story. When they go see an action movie, they want a movie with this just wall-to-wall action. So they want a lot of money for their dollar. And this movie is a lot of movie. Everything is huge. You know, somebody gets punched, their head explodes. You know,
this is true.
And so that's
just like the manga.
Well, see, the manga, why the movie is better than the comic book is in the comic, him and his brother is evil. He's also in the prison, and his brother has a birthmark on his hand that looks like a swastika. And Ricky O has a birthmark on his hand that looks, if you go back to that picture, looks like he has a Star of David birthmark on his hand.
Oh.
So his brother's evil and he's good, and their father, who's also in the prison, sort of has this bald head with a white beard. He sort of represents God. And if there's a story that doesn't need socio-religious subtext, it's this story. So the movie is actually, I think, an improvement on the comic. And things happen in, like a guy disembowels himself and tries to strangle Ricky with his own intestines.
Which was classic.
Which
that happened.
And basically, it has the same laws of physics as a Roadrunner cartoon, a Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoon. And it is just completely ridiculous. And I give it 4 stars out of 3. Go ahead, Joe.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so I had mixed feelings about the movie. At first, I'm kind of like, this is ridiculous.
Every 5 minutes, you either loved or hated it.
Right. So it's kind of like a bad date. But 1 minute.
It's like a great date.
What? Yeah, 1 minute. Well, all right. It's a blind date. You don't know really what you're going to get. In 1 minute, you think everything's going to be great, and then the next minute, you're like, oh my god, when is this date over? And then she maybe touches your hand. You're like, okay, cool, this is great. I mean, we can just go on and on. I don't know what I'm saying. The point is
You are terrible
when
with
it's
analogies.
all said and done, I actually did enjoy this movie, and I enjoyed it for the simple reason
It's pure entertainment.
That the director, and I can't think of his name right now, and I'd probably butcher it when
He was actually a cinematographer before he was a director.
Well, he probably looked at the manga and said, "This is what we're going to do." Because I'm looking at page number 17 of volume 3 of this, and it's literally got Ricky O's hand through a guy's mouth, and his brain is coming out the back end.
Yeah.
If that's what they were going for.
It is a faithful adaptation of the comic.
That's exactly right, and it is completely ridiculous. He's never hurt, or he heals real fast.
Yeah.
He gets hurt a bunch.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, and I think a lot of people's problem with this movie would be, and you said it, are they really, really trying to be funny, or is it just...
I don't think they're trying to be funny. I think they're trying to be 100% entertaining.
entertaining?
They're basically, if you want to see a splatter movie, we got some splatter for you.
But it's like I said during the movie, it's like an old school kung fu movie, but without the really cool looking kung fu.
Because every punch is like a superhero.
You know, the secondary characters, Ricky O is pretty solid in who he is, but all of the secondary characters, all the villains and all the other prisoners, they're all silly and act ridiculous. You know, and for somebody like me that maybe when this movie came out, would you say 91?
91.
I probably would have really enjoyed this in 91.
Like Lone Wolf and Cub.
No.
But that's a different movie.
Don't compare that to this.
I won't.
This, to me, I would compare Lone Wolf and Cub to what you're talking about. The Night Comes for Us kind of sounds more.
I will compare it as that
like
they're both faithful adaptations of the tone of the comic.
Close enough, sure, okay. But this, to me, was just. Look, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
You can say whatever you want.
It's
free country.
Yeah.
You know, you see
I'm not
these
cutting
guys.
your face.
They're
Say what
in
you want.
rubber suits. You can see strings pulling guys when they get punched, and you know, and I know that's not something that they meant to have look as fake as it does.
Right.
And I hate to be the fake guy. I don't want to be River Lane.
Yeah.
You know, fake, whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact is for me, it's just not that well done. I understand Lee's point. It's like it's pure action, whatever. But if it's not good action, who gives a fuck? And to me, the kung fu in it was shit. The fight scenes were, they're moving so slow, and it's like, I don't know. I've seen similar movies, and don't put me on the spot because I can't think of one.
I was going to say
where it's like over the top action.
Yeah,
and that's
hard boiled.
Yeah, and that's okay. I buy it.
Yeah.
This was just beyond my ability to buy.
I would say the American equivalent of this would be From Dusk Till Dawn.
So, yeah, really similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only difference being there was at least some of From Dusk Till Dawn that was serious and smooth and cool and an awesome, like, the beginning, the first 40 minutes or what have you.
Well, in Hard Boiled, where Ricky O has lots of blood and guts, Hard Boiled had lots of paper confetti.
That's true. Yeah.
But this also, a shit movie that Garrick keeps bringing up every fucking cast just about, Terrifier.
Yeah.
I did not bring it up.
Okay, I did.
Okay, so there you go.
You
guys are the ones that won't let it go.
Similar in just because of it's an anchor of fucking debilitating garbage is what it is. It's tied around my ankle and I'm going to drag it around with me for the rest of my life.
Like that one dude's intestines.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe if it was modernized and a little, maybe not so campy looking in some of the effects, and maybe I could change my tune on it. But just for what it was, just for me, I mean, who do you recommend that movie to? I don't know. Other than Lee, I don't know anybody who I would say, watch this, I think you're going to like it.
I've recommended it to multiple people.
And they fucking hate you.
No, it's a cult class. It's a John Waters movie.
Yeah.
It's going to
have
its audience.
Yeah. A lot of people love it. Yeah. But, just because, and like I say this, just because a lot of people like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. Yeah. So, for me, a 2 out of 5. All right. It's not the worst thing. I understand what they're going for. But I've seen similarly. I'm really trying to think. I'll come up with something before the end of the show.
Next week he'll come up with something.
Maybe. Of ridiculous nature, over the top, that works. And this, to me, just for me, personally, just didn't. I didn't give a fuck about anybody in it or anything that was happening. And basically, I wanted it to be over about 15 minutes into it.
Was it better than Prince of Darkness?
No.
Oh, no!
And I fucking hated that. But I said that Prince of Darkness, hey, it's fun. I mean, I don't know, man. Honestly, maybe, like I say, if I would have watched this, when I was 17, 18 years old in that early 90s, maybe I would, would have an appreciation with me and be in me to where, I liked it. But for me today at 43 years old, fuck that shit. I don't ever want to see it again. I hope I never see it again.
You're not going to go home and read the manga?
No, I'm not.
Speaking of graphic novels, I went back and got the Happy.
What'd you think? I've not read it.
It's great. But I love that you've got to see.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
It's
not for him, which is weird.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't.
Just weird for you. That's all I'm saying. Because I enjoyed it. We enjoy that kind of stuff.
Sometimes Phantom Thread. Yeah. Right. See, there's always a Phantom Thread, Garrick. See, that's what makes it a rule.
It's the Phantom Thread.
Yeah. Is the fact that we'll like some shit.
What did you think of Ricky O?
I liked it. Yeah. I liked it. I think I fought with myself.
What's your final word?
Listen, being on this podcast with you, man, it's actually changed the way I think about things.
Right.
I say that, man, because I do look at things a little bit more perspective with entertainment. Like I don't pick everything apart like a filmmaker anymore. Like we're 16 in. If we would watch this worst week, we wouldn't have had a second show. I'd have been like, do I really have to do this like over and over?
If this would have been week 1,
but I would have been done. But like so, and after Black Christmas, you had a good point. I went back and watched Black Christmas, and I'm like, I'm just speaking out of my ass on these movies. I'm not really thinking about it. And that was my thing with Ricky O. Is yes, one minute I did hate it, the next minute I didn't. But when it's over with. It is entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it is.
What was the fucking movie that had Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Bloodsport.
No.
When he was in the prison.
Dennis Rodman.
Oh, gosh.
I know what you're talking about.
Because that's what this reminded me of.
No, this is a much better movie than that movie. 1 second. Max?
But that's how I feel about it's entertainment, and yes, it is. God, it's ridiculous. Like it really is ridiculous, but it's still fun. And if that's what they're doing, if you look at the manga, Let me think. It's right here. Let's do this.
It is
Double Team.
Double Team.
Double Team.
1997.
Give me 1 second. All right. Go to the full
It
credits.
got 11%.
Yeah. Okay.
To Sue Hart.
Okay, Choi. Yeah. That brings me to something. Choi Hart directed that movie. Huge Chinese director. It seems like in 1997, when Hong Kong went over back into Chinese control, more or less, all the big Hong Kong directors came to America. Choi Hart, John Woo, they all did their first American movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme for some reason. And unfortunately, one of them was Ringo Lam, who passed away the other day.
Oh, yes.
And it kind of pissed me off because every American movie website, they're like, the guy who Tarantino ripped off Reservoir Dogs from died, which is true because if you watch City on Fire, you watch Reservoir Dogs, they are very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chow Yun-Fat character and the Tim Roth character, or even the Keitel shooting the two guns into the cop car, that happens in the movie, and it's just, I mean, do I think Tarantino saw the movie? Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
But I mean, Ringo Lam's career was bigger than that. I mean, he was.
So, did you guys see this movie?
I did.
And do you see what I'm saying when I say that this is a movie that I would compare to that?
No. Because
why? Because this isn't based on a comic book?
No. Because it's when we talk about Terrifier. The thing I didn't like about Terrifier is how
any of it was done.
It was because it was the difference between Riccio and Terrifier is I don't think Riccio is a mean-spirited movie.
Right.
The tone of it is so goofy, but the actors play it serious. Movies like this are all about tone. Like talk about Lone Wolf and Cub. Had a different person directed Lone Wolf and Cub movies, it could have turned into Riccio. But it's directed so well and shot so well that it's above. It's a different type of movie.
That's a different.
And the reason why I think genre movies are the best type of movies is they're all emotion. Genre movies make you feel. Like action movies make you feel excited. You know, that's what movies are about. Is about emotion.
Okay.
You know, which is why I don't like when people say, "Oh, that movie really made you think." Did it?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Does it really? The people are like Schindler's List made you think. What are we doing?
Wasn't Raul Julia also in this movie? Wasn't it his last movie?
No, Raul Julia's last movie was Street Fighter with Van Damme.
See, I'm getting my Van Damme's crossed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I would compare.
You think that movie is?
I think it
maybe that's what I'm meaning.
Yeah,
because
that's
service at 22.
Where Van Damme fights Raul Julia at the end. That's Street Fighter.
I'm already bored. Oh, that's not a trailer. That's like 15 seconds.
Okay.
Stupid.
I'm not sure what's
That's
happening.
what I
Anyway, but now I would compare the Street Fighter.
Okay, so maybe that I think Street Fighter is what I was actually meaning. Doesn't it have the thing that has like 6 arms?
That's Mortal Kombat.
God damn.
It's all the same. But that's kind of like Ricky.
Okay,
yeah.
You guys understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. We
We
just
just
had the wrong
spent
movie.
20 minutes watching.
Talking about the wrong movie. Anyway, but
Do your research
I was actually
when you
reading
come
about.
No notebooks, man.
Yeah.
That's what
Mortal
happens.
Kombat, yes, but you're right. Mortal Kombat, the video game. They did a movie. It was terrible, but it had all these different guys, characters.
Yeah.
The Street Fighter's the one that I'm talking about with Raul Julia.
Yeah, Raul Julia. That was his last movie.
And Van Damme. That's the one I'm talking about. That's
I was reading an article
similar
about it,
to what we watched
and
tonight,
they
I
said
think.
Raul Julia he had just come back from chemo.
Yeah.
And he learned all the fights, but after every one, they had to take big hair dryers and blow out that big red leather costume because he was so. And they were like, "Dude, you don't have to do this. We have
He
you
was
stunt
like,
double."
"Nope, I'm doing it."
He was like, "Nope." He's like, "My kid loves Street Fighter. I'm being in this movie."
Yeah.
And I read this article that interviewed the director and the stunt coordinator, and they both hate each other. Like they both say that the other one ruined the movie, but the only thing they agreed on was that Raul Julia was a prince.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was like a fantastic human being.
I love that guy, man. I
And,
loved him from basically everything I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate
but-
that he died young.
Yeah.
So there you go. You got 2 people that enjoyed Ricky-O, the story of Ricky, and you have one that would wipe his ass with it.
Gladly.
So that brings us. We've already done the pick of the week.
Yep.
Mark, what'd you think about Ricky-O? Okay, he is no comment. No comment. Yeah, I would love for him to do some.
Well, we have to do it like Malcolm McDowell at the end of Clockwork Orange, like tape his eyes open.
Strap him down, too, to get him to the end, I think.
It's time for Garrick's Bathwater Showdown. Grudge Match.
bathwater. Okay, so we're going to do 2 bathwater showdowns this week. We're going to do my original, which came from my 2 terrible vampire movies that I watched. We're going to have the only thing good about both of those movies, squaring off in a vampire delight. We've got Aaliyah, the late great Aaliyah, beautiful, as in Queen of the Damned, as Queen Akasha. Fine as she can be, even with vampire fangs, against the vampire Celine, who's played by Katie Beckinsale in Underworld. So there you go. You got an undead bathwater showdown, Aaliyah versus Kate Beckinsale, and then you have Doug's bathwater showdown, which would be the Aquaman cast. Amber Heard as Mira in the new Aquaman movie against the older, still stunning Nicole Kidman as Queen Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Both of these polls will be on the Facebook page. Be sure you vote. That should be 2 really good challenges for everyone. All right, and announcements. We've got announcements. The Mad Monster Con is coming to Charlotte. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but we've got some great... it's a monster convention. Starts at the Hilton Charlotte and the University Place, February 22nd to the 24th. Come on out. That's correct. The director, Terrifier, would have made the show. The director of Terrifier and the guy that played Art the Clown will be there, including Bruce Campbell.
So we're going to give him a fucking sock party, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Good.
So some of the guests that are going to be there, it's great. Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton, who played Art the Clown, are going to both be there. Kane Hodder.
Mitch Pileggi.
Yep, Mitch Pileggi. And Bruce Campbell. Danielle Harris, beautiful Danielle Harris. Will all be in Charlotte, February 2nd to the 24th. Go to Facebook page, get your tickets. It's going to be a heck of a party. I actually sent them a message saying that I would film for free for a weekend pass. I'm hoping they'll get back to me.
There you go.
That'd be pretty cool. We'll get a couple of passes and go in and just film a whole bunch of stuff for them. I'm sure they've already got somebody that they're paying, but, I mean, what's it cost them to give me a couple of tickets and let me go in there? And
yeah.
So there you go. That's my only event. Golden Ticket is still playing. This week we'll still be playing Aquaman and Mary Poppins Returns. Aquaman is excellent. I hear Mary Poppins is excellent. I might try to sneak out and see it this weekend.
By the way, Riccio has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Phantom Thread has a 91%, so there's 3% that separates those movies.
There you go.
Think about that, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reviews like farts. Don't trust them.
But that is kind of crazy because it's 2 totally different things.
Yeah.
No, but, I mean, you get enough people that like this style of whatever, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that Riccio has that high. Shocked. But, whatever.
Another announcement we have, so we can wrap this up, is we have been informed.
Uh-oh.
We haven't really been informed, but there is a second Midnight Drive-In, and unfortunately for us, and fortunately for us, they have been around a lot longer than we have. So we are actually contemplating changing the name and kind of changing things up a little bit. We did some research and realized that there's a lot of podcasts doing what we're doing, and that's cool and all. Nobody sounds like us. However, I don't want to have the same name, and I don't want to get associated. I don't want to do work and do these podcasts and have people going and subscribing to the wrong Midnight Drive-In.
Right.
So we will be in the next month or so kind of transversing. So if you see things that are changing and names that are changing or something that's changing, don't be alarmed. Everything's going to be the same. But when we get everything in place, you'll be listening to the show and we will be a different name. So there you go.
Same show, different name.
Same show, just a different name that will kind of keep us out of the bunches of other podcasts that are doing what we're doing.
But there's a million podcasts about everything.
That's correct.
I mean,
so the last thing we need to do is be the Midnight Drive-In.
Right.
When there's another Midnight Drive-In.
Right.
So there you go. So that's just the announcement. It's coming. We're doing it real slow because we're busy and
We'll figure it out.
I mean, I'm not getting sued. We're not getting sued. I talked to the guy that owned the other one, and everything's cool. We're just going to kind of gradually make the switch over whenever we figure out a name, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. Hey, what are we going to do next week? Should we do Should we do something we've never done before and do your pick of the week next week?
That's up to you guys. Oh,
You think you can last another week before watching?
I don't know if I can last.
Yeah,
45
never mind.
minutes.
We're going to watch that.
I definitely want to watch it.
All right, so I'm going to go home and watch it tonight.
Yeah.
So there you go. Never mind. So
There we go.
Maybe Phantom. What? No. Okay. Never mind.
we can.
How about no? How about prom cuts?
Yeah, let's do prom cut. Well, Wednesday, cool as this is, Lee and I might be, I know I'm going. I don't know about Lee. He's got to make a big drive. But Charlotte, we have our premiere of our film, Ella, that we shot over the summer, is actually premiering at a movie theater in Charlotte. And we're going to go do the red carpet. There you go. Got the invite.
Got the invitation. Yep.
Yep, the cast and crew screening of our new film. But we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for listening.
All right.
All right.
Go see some movies.
Phantom Thread, you ready now? While we're off there? No?
Fuck off.
All right. This broadcast is sponsored by Table Rock Creative Group. They are the pinnacle in video marketing for the Carolinas. From animation, corporate profiles, and even music videos and film production, Table Rock Creative is your consolidated solution. See their new film, Ella, in film festivals around the United States, starting in January.